Welcome back, everyone, to an exciting episode of Kicking It with Gab and Chooch.
I am Gab, as always,
And Chooch, once again,
and we are back for another week of Premier League. Only 3 more weeks remaining. We are so close to the end, so close to the final match day. Shoot, it's hard to believe, but we made it this far. We are going to go with our awards. First and foremost, as always, we're going to recap the Premier League and then take a look at the Champions League, which are the final deciders for the final. Let's start it off with Chooch. Go for it with your banger of the week.
banger of the week. I would say if this isn't your banger of the week, you're criminal. I'm gonna go Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
Banger,
yeah, that's my
absolute
banger
banger.
of the week as well.
I will give shout out to Olisa's first goal, the dribbling through
Yeah,
Man United. Absolutely wonderful.
that could potentially have won a separate goal of the week. But for sure, banger of the week, Harvey Elliott, just unmatched with the left foot, just absolute curler from deep. I also really liked a couple good goals. You know, Conor Gallagher had a good off the volley goal. Hudson Odoi's first goal was really, really nice. Just a couple really good ones this week. But yeah, let's go with our star boy of the week. I am going to go with Callum Hudson-Odoi. Should have had a hat trick, just missed it on a few chances, but he played really, really well. I've been talking about him all season. Last week, I really talked about his game, exactly what he likes to do. Sheffield just kept giving him that inside cut, and he was taking full advantage of it. But yeah, it's always when you're playing the worst team in the Premier League. Of course, usually everyone's going to shine. But I think Hudson Odoi has been playing, that well all season.
Yeah.
Um, they don't really get the prime time spot, on TV or such. But if you got a chance to watch that Forest game, he was really good. I want to say the last time they really had that spot was the Manchester or the Burnley game, which was his first game back. I think it was on a Monday, so everybody was watching that basically, and he scored that insane goal, his goal of the season. But who is your star boy of the week?
We'll give him credit. Did really good. He probably would have won it for
If you
me.
say Cole Palmer, we're moving on.
No. If it wasn't for today's performance against Man United, it would have been Odoi. But Olise was absolutely phenomenal today. You know, everyone just kept saying that he's going to Man United, but after this game, buddy, I wouldn't want to join him.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
absolutely
definitely tough.
insane. The first goal was insane. Second goal was good. And ever since the manager changed, he's been a whole nother level.
Yeah, I was listening to Young Philly stream. He got on shortly. I think I want to say around 7 p.m. our time or something. He was actually at the game with Angry Ginge, and he said that after the game he got to meet the players. He got Olise's game worn jersey. He didn't sign it though. He didn't sign it. He got the game worn, but it wasn't signed. But either way, shoot, that's pretty sick. And he asked them, he said he asked a couple players, why are we playing? Why do you think we're winning so much? And he said a couple of the players, without even knowing, like, they weren't around each other. These were like individual meetings. I think he asked 3 players. I can't remember which ones. I think he said Mateta was one, and I can't remember who the other 2 were, but they all said that it was the manager. He just makes them run, and the energy that he puts out. I was like, dang, that's pretty tight. But yeah, we've all seen, definitely since the manager change, that team's been different.
Definitely. I feel like it has affected players such as Olise and Mateta. Mateta has been absolutely killing it. He's a nice, just the physical striker, and he's making those runs, and he's it's playing to his best of his ability, and he's showing up in back to back games.
Yeah. I thought really too, Mateta's freaking no drip, shirt tucked in, like that's not his. That's the Rodri look. Some say that's pretty fire too. I like when players do stuff like that, but I like the tuck shirt for sure. Moving into the recap, we had one game on Friday. We had covered, I think, the Thursday. It was a Thursday game already.
Yeah.
But Luton Everton, they were a 1-1 draw in the bottom of the table battle. Some say, but Everton are pretty close to, I think next week we'll start to get some for sure's on the bottom half of the stage. Brentford, as long as let's see, 369. They're still, if they win or draw, I believe they will technically be safe from relegation, no matter what. But Luton are 10 points below. There are 9 possible points, actually, so they may have already done it. But either way, we're still in a really tight race here. Luton really needed that point. Everton, they obviously a win would have been key for them, but they did not get it. Still, a draw is not the worst when your next opponent is Sheffield for Everton, and then Luton are still 2 points now above Burnley, and 3 points behind Forest. But let's see.
Tough.
Yeah, it's not like Luton had some pretty good chances that game too.
Yeah.
They could have put them away. It's just, we know they could score goals. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, especially right at the end. They were giving it their all. The keeper out on the last corner.
Yeah.
On their first corner, they got their first corner at the 90th minute,
Yeah.
and they were throwing everything they can. And
And they really almost scored on one of those corners.
Pickford once again showing why he's arguably England's best keeper, despite where he's at on the table, despite how the team is playing. He is single-handedly keeping them up.
Yeah, and I think, I think it was Tarkowski that literally, well, not goal line clearance save, but on their last or second last corner of the game, the ball beat Pickford off the corner, a couple deflections, falls to the feet of one of the Luton guys, kicks it, beats the defender, but Tarkowski saves it in a game-winning save, just about. Would have been heartbreak for them and huge for Luton. They still would be 1 point behind though, but regardless, at the time it was unknown. You never know what could have happened, but still, really good game, super entertaining. Going to Saturday, we had basically our full slate. Almost, we had 4 games. Arsenal versus Bournemouth, 3-0. No shock there. Yeah, cakewalk game for them. We'll see. They should continue their dominance. They could win out, I believe. If they win out, I think that'll be their highest points. In some odd years, I can't remember exactly what it was. But if Manchester City went out, they would still beat them. Bournemouth, absolutely nothing to show for that game. Just pure dominance from Arsenal's end. And they ended up getting those 3 goals. Saka with the pen. Trossard had a timely goal, as he has been in the past few weeks. And the Chelsea boy gets a goal in the stoppage time. Declan Rice. But yeah, not much from that game. I mean, Arsenal just doing what they do, getting pens, giving them to Saka. What else? Going to Brentford. We had Brentford versus Fulham in a standstill draw. Not the best game for sure.
Lackluster.
Yeah, Tony is definitely on I think 11 game, or not 11 game. It might be close to that. I think I saw it was 11 game non-scoring streak at the moment. He hasn't really done much since the Manchester United game where he provided the game-winning assist. Well, not game-winning, but game-closing assist. But yeah, look for a move for him for sure. Fulham, not really looking their best either, but we always get either extremely hot Fulham or this Fulham that we just
Yeah.
saw. Going into the next game, Burnley Newcastle. I don't know why I felt like Burnley had a chance this one.
Yeah.
It looked all right. It looked all right. Start of the game, but unfortunately, Newcastle just absolutely tore them apart. Callum, how they're having players like Callum Wilson come back. That's
Scoring.
really good for them. Yeah. Yeah, they put all 4 goals. It was 3-0 at halftime, 4-0 just after the half, and Burnley only got one back really late in the game,
Yeah.
almost a stoppage. Nothing much Burnley could do. I mean, we know Newcastle were far better regardless, but still felt like, I don't know, maybe just because of the results last week, it felt like they had a boost and could really have picked up a win or a draw. But definitely something to worry about for Burnley as Forest got the win. Good for them that Luton didn't, but they are shooting to keep in the league. So yeah, that leads us right into our next one. Freaking Sheffield versus Forest. This was a big one. This was a good one. Not sure if you got to see really back and forth play, but
Uh,
shoot.
I watched, mostly clips of it. But yeah, just showing once again, Hudson Odoi showing that he deserves to play in the Prem. If they, God forbid, get relegated, that he should be back and playing week in, week out.
Yeah, definitely. He's been unreal all season, I've been saying. Um, it looked like Sheffield had something. They got the first penalty right away, within the first 20 minutes. But Callum Hudson-Odoi with a really good first touch, or not first touch, second touch goal, but right off the half volley. Put another one past, same fashion. Had the chance for the hat trick in the same fashion, but he just, I don't know, clammed up in the final seconds of that one. But either way, got the 2 goals. Ryan Yates with the next goal, and Forest win comfortably 3-1. But yeah, really big for the relegation battle. Forest go 3 points. Let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. 3 points above Luton Town. So even with the result, Luton are most likely going to need to either win the next 2 games or win 2 of the last 3, regardless, to even try to make something happen for them. You always want to leave it in your hands versus someone else. It is in Forest hands at the moment, but you never know. Forest do have Chelsea next, who are red hot. They got a couple of really tough games. They got a couple of really tough games with Chelsea and Burnley as their last 2. That Burnley game, very, very well, could be it. That could be the one that decides who's going down. Even for Luton, I mean, if you're Luton, let's see, I think someone has 1 game, I think. Oh no, they're all at the same game. So Luton only have 2 matches left against West Ham and Fulham. Not the best chances, I'd say. Fulham's definitely their most winnable. But either way, I think Burnley really have set themselves up for a chance to do it. They do play Tottenham next, but either way, you have a chance to take Forest down or even lift yourself up, or both in that final game scenario. Let's see. Yeah, moving to the next one, we had an absolute dominance: Manchester City versus Wolves. I was really nervous for it just because of
What
Wolves have
happened?
played us really well. Yeah, they've been playing top teams pretty well, so I was definitely a little nervous. But Foden was back. Holland was back.
Easy
Just
work.
perfect timing. Everyone's fully healthy. Gorvie Doll's been playing insane. Yeah, I mean, shoot. In this potentially record-breaking title race for consecutive wins in a row. We are looking our strongest right now, especially after the last 2 weeks that weren't so great against all right teams. But definitely a good win. Team's fully healthy.
Thank you.
John Stones got back on the pitch, which was good. He got a run after halftime, and then good to see Foden come on. He was subbed off early as well. But yeah, Matthias Nunes got his return against the Wolves as well. So good play. Kovacic, I believe, played really, really well as well. Um, good stuff from him. I feel like he's really transformed as a player in terms of I wouldn't say necessarily being mentored but just basically playing behind Rodri. Because I feel like Kovacic was good. He has always been good. He's always been
So
good.
yeah,
I mean, we saw him in the when you guys won the Champions League and whatnot. He was really an edge of the box player, but I feel like now he plays just like Rodri. Like Rodri will sit back when he sees the chance to sit back. He'll sit back behind the edge further than the edge of the box, but obviously when we're up 5-1, then he starts to get really into it. But Kovacic has been playing insanely well. He's kind of transformed himself into a little mini Rodri. They've been calling him as City fans, but really good play from him.
yeah, I would say, especially with him playing under Pep, he's definitely changed a lot in his game. Because seeing him at Chelsea, he was one of those players that wanted the ball at his feet. He wanted to move the game up a lot. He was a really good dribbler, and to see him play like this shows the quality in him. And I feel like he just fit what Pep wants like so well. Like Pep scouting is unreal.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, but really, I think like you said, I mean, there were times in the beginning of the season where I think it was the Arsenal game where he could have got a red card, and stuff like that. He was just feel like just doing so much that he didn't need to, or I guess he necessarily felt like he had to. But right now he's just playing perfectly. He's fitting perfect. He's being where he needs to be. He is kind of moving the field around. I mean, the way he wants to, but I mean that's really good because he moves left, right. He plays both sides, and moves back and forth. But I think just Rodri being there with him gives him a lot more of that freedom. But when Rodri's not there, he plays it really well, really patiently as well. So good for him. It's always good to see transfers work out, especially when it seemed like Kovacic was on the tail end of glory almost because going from Chelsea winning the Champions League to them in these depths, which is not so depth right now. We'll get to that in a minute, but still good to see him doing well. Moving on to the next game, we had Sunday games.
Sunday.
Yeah, we had 3 games there. We had Brighton Villa as our first one. Brighton, to me, get the surprise win.
Yeah, they've been
1-0.
awful these
Yeah.
past couple games. Looking at Brighton, that was their first win in oh god, uh, that's their first win in the past 5 games
Yeah.
that I see at least. But we've seen it. They've been playing awful, and it wasn't just like they were losing 1-0 here and there. They were losing like 4-0, 5-0. They're getting battered.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Brighton, they have not exceeded their expectations for the season. I think they definitely wanted to be a top 6 or 7 club this season. But I mean, so many injuries. They're still really, really young. There's tons of potential. I think a lot of blame has gone on the coach, just like every other team that's had an insane amount of injuries. I mean, we've seen it, but I definitely don't think that they should sack him. I think he's still really good for them. He says he wants to stay as of recently. Has no plans on leaving. But regardless, they do sit at 11th now. But to get a win over Villa is absolutely huge. Villa, in 4th place in that Champions League spot. I mean, they weren't their best. We mentioned it before, just coming off the Conference League loss in a really bad fashion, and getting dominated. But yeah, I mean, good for Brighton. Gives you a little boost there. But I don't really expect much from them. They are middle of the table. Nothing much they could do at this point. Whereas Villa pretty much have locked in that 4 spot. Wolves they have a chance, but it's still going to be tough. They're going to have to win out, and Villa might have to lose another. But either way, still really good for them. Tottenham have 3 games left. Villa have 2. So still realistically a chance for Tottenham. And they have Burnley next, City, and then Sheffield. So still could do it. Or I think Villa play Liverpool next. Yeah. So
Yep.
really, really big chance for them. And then they play Palace. So that's a really tough one. Still a chance for Spurs.
Yeah.
Still a chance. And I think realistically, you only have to win 2 as Spurs. That's 6 points. Assuming Villa get the loss, and then you maybe draw against City, take a point. I mean, that's what you're hoping for at very most. But either way, it's going to be tough for Spurs to bounce back, but it's still very, very possible. Going into the next one is an absolute demolition. London Derby, Chelsea versus West Ham. They absolutely obliterate their London rivals again. David Moyes, it's just shambles because David Moyes, right after, now he's not going to be the coach of the next season. He's been saying all season that he would wait till it got really, really close to the end of the season to make a decision. But I really felt like just this 5-0 loss because assume they win this game. 2-1, 3-1. I mean, I don't think you necessarily get that call here. I think, you're looking towards a bright spot. Ownership's looking towards the right spot. You'd be really close to trying to compete for that 6-7 seed again, or 6-7 spot again. But yeah, with the loss, it's really, really tough. Now you're 5 points behind, 8 points behind 6. So it's a tough spot for them. I really think he did good. I mean, they won the Conference League last season in his second stint with the team. He's done what he could do. I mean, we've seen huge breakouts from his players. Edson Alvarez, has been unreal in the system he's been playing. Calvin Phillips was maybe the one that just, kind of messed things up, but I think that's really just. You can't blame him too much. You see a guy that we obviously have seen what Calvin Phillips could do before, or else he wouldn't have been bought by Manchester City. But you think you can't really implement a player like that quick, especially mid half of the season, especially one that doesn't play. If he's playing, Calvin Phillips playing, for City, maybe it's a lot easier. Maybe it makes a lot more sense. But it was just really tough for him to get back into a game, especially here at top of the half, table club. Just really hard. Really caused, I think, friction with Edson Alvarez wanting to leave. There's questions what Kudus could do. He's been a star. Jared Bowen will most likely never leave this club. Michael Antonio's in the tail end of his career. He's not really starting too much. Bowen's starting up there quite a lot. But Keta could potentially leave. Really just as a manager. Yeah. Really just as a manager, it's not the best situation to want to stay in. And I just really think Chelsea obliterating them made that decision for him that much easier.
That moves us up.
Yeah, and you guys are fighting for the 6th spot, only 2 points behind with 2, or you guys have 3 matches remaining, so do Newcastle. Let's see who Newcastle have. Newcastle will have Brighton, United, and Brentford. So I think the United game could be really tough.
Yeah.
Let's see who Chelsea have. Chelsea should have easy ones.
Yeah, Forest, Brighton, Bournemouth.
That should be a perfect 6th seed spot. I think Newcastle, though, could get one over on United. We'll see, but either way, moving into the next match, we have Liverpool versus Tottenham. It was a really good game after they went up. I think it was 3-0 Spurs, just like have they've been doing in the past few weeks, turning it up, playing
Yeah,
really well. Somehow, just too little, too late each week. They had a chance to. Richarlison should be starting, I believe. As of right now, he's been playing well. He has moments of brilliance. Like we see it. We saw it in the World Cup. He had absolutely unreal play. We saw it earlier, not necessarily the beginning of the season, but right after he was injured with the groin injury, and then he came back and was really, really hot, scoring goals for them. I just think, man, it's like they're missing Harry Kane right now. It's really what it is. They have James Madison. They really, oh man, it's awful because they have three tiers of excellent football. They have a great defense. They have not necessarily a great midfield, but they have James Madison's really, really great. Hoiberg's coming back into it, been playing well. And then their attack with Huming Son, Brennan Johnson's been playing insane. Richarlison's been playing good, not getting the start. But imagine Harry Kane's up there. I mean, that just makes it that much better. Man, maybe should have stayed one more season. Maybe one more season, but we'll see. Either way, really good win from Liverpool. They got really lazy at the end, almost gave it up, but still, they came away with the win.
yeah, yeah. It was 4-0 until Spurs finally decided to step up, and they were supposed to be the ones that are gonna decide the title race, but they're just giving
Yeah,
away points. Fucking,
they
you
still
want
could though. They
points?
still could.
They still could, but the way it's looking like, it's it's like everybody come and get some points because Tottenham's handing them out. That's
If we lose to
four
them,
losses in a row.
I may lose it. I may genuinely lose it.
Where's the
There's
game
actually
at?
only 2 weeks left of Premier League. It's
Wait,
just 3 games for some teams.
where's the game at?
The game is at Tottenham, which is
Buddy, you're done for.
so tough for us. I
You're
know
done
that's
for.
why. That's
You
why
are
I've
done
been
for.
saying. That's what
Um,
I've been saying.
you guys don't have a win there, right?
We have their last game was a win, I
Oh yeah,
believe.
that was the first one.
Yeah, that was our first one. But yeah, so it's doable. It's just tough. But either way, we gotta win it. We gotta win it. It's the only matter of fact to it. Yeah, it's just really tough, really nervy. But still, honestly, we've got some tough games. Fulham, could be hot, could be cold. Tottenham away, it's tough. And then, City Ham. If we make it to the last week, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. City Ham, if you absolutely try to destroy us, we are breaking ties forever. But I think if we make it there, it'll all be worth it at the end. But yeah, we'll see. Going into Monday's game, which is today's game, yesterday's game when this video comes out. But Palace United, really, really good matchup, I thought. Since we were saying, Palace have been playing insanely well. United still lackluster, but getting wins. If you at the start of this game, it still seemed, like United would get the win. Harry Maguire got injured a few days ago. They said he was going to be out. Allegedly, Johnny Evans failed a fitness test this morning. Still started. They didn't have any options regardless. Casemiro started at center back. Johnny Evans as well. Just really, really tough from them. 4-0 Palace. Palace are just, shoot. Palace are just playing unreal. Olise Eze duo, always nasty. Gehi, I don't think he's been back since his injury. Yeah. I think he's probably going to be done for the season.
Yeah, he got subbed on today, actually.
Oh, he did get subbed. Back. Okay, let's have a look at it. Yeah, let's see. So their next match, they'll play Wolves, and then they have Aston Villa for Palace. So not the toughest end of the season, but they could very well win all those games. Win out. that'd be a really good ending to the season. The coach would for sure going to be staying. I just think a full off season. Maybe you try to get some good players over the off season. I mean, that's kind of why Eze and Olise probably have been staying. I mean, we've said it, we've questioned it. Why do they continue to stay? But I mean, today's results. I mean, how could you not believe in what's the manager's selling right now? Just really, really good work from them. And then I think United. I think they're done. I think Ten Hag is done.
He's done.
We'll see potentially Southgate go there. Yeah, it's just quite unreal. 13 losses for the season. I think that is their most ever.
And
Let's see.
the goals conceded is the highest ever in the Premier League for Man United. And the fact that we're on top of them now on goal differential tells you everything.
Yeah, so United's 13 loss of the Premier League season is a record loss for the entire club. There is absolutely no way Ten Hag remains the gaffer for next season. It's over. I think it's officially over. Definitely, Zach sent me a snap. It must have been on his break or something. He said I was at work and a customer told me the score and I lost it. So shouts to him.
I got that one.
He has definitely a sad game for United. That was at Selhurst Park though. Really good home win for them. Just man, Palace are making moves. Let's have a look into the into the table real quick. We are down. Sheffield United relegated, Burnley almost relegated, Luton at 26 points, and Forest at 29. That's really what we're looking at now.
Yeah.
Don't really have to worry about Brentford or Everton much. Going up to the top of the table, Arsenal still lead on one game in hand for Manchester City, 83 to 82 points, and then Liverpool are behind with 78. And City have a game on them in hand as well. So really going to come down to the top two teams, it looks like. Arsenal City. Goal differential is now only 6. So big. Arsenal next play United. Not the best. Not the best. Not what I was hoping it was going to be. We'll see what happens, but it's not looking great right now for Manchester United. It looks like City will have to win out regardless. We've been saying that for weeks, so should keep it that way. And Erling Haaland, oh man, there was talks that Palmer was going to beat Haaland. Then Haaland goes and scores 4 in the game to submit his lead. 25 goals, Palmer at 21, Isak at 20, Ollie Watkins 19, and Ollie Watkins also leads the league in 12 assists, right behind Anthony Gordon and Mohamed Salah, Kieran Trippier. Now we shift gears.
Oh, and then David Raya, of course, has officially won.
No, we don't care about that.
You gotta give it.
He won a Golden Glove.
He won the Golden Glove, but he's not the best keeper.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Shifting gears into the Champions League, which we are set for tomorrow. By the time this video drops, we will be just mere hours away from PSG versus Dortmund at the Parc des Princes, and Dortmund are up 1-0 on aggregate.
Buddy, there's so much potential for this game. Is this going to be Mbappe's farewell tour?
Dortmund will be up against the fans. Yeah. Mbappe with the team on his back.
The Saudi government.
The referees, the script. It's back against the wall for a potential storybook ending chance for Marco Reus, Jadon Sancho, and the rest of Dortmund. Think about it. Jadon Sancho was training with the youth team 6 to 8 months ago. Now he is 90 minutes away from a Champions League final. and which he would get the start in. He would get the start for them. Would be quite unreal if he were to win it. As Manchester United have one of their worst seasons of all time. And then that's tomorrow, Tuesday. So we'll know at least half of the final by this time tomorrow. I am going to go. I want Dortmund to win, but I truly, truly think that PSG are going to get saved somehow, and I think we will see them in the final. But I truly, truly want Dortmund to win it all. Well, not win it all, but win it and make it to the final at Wembley.
I'm hoping for the Mbappe masterclass for him to show up because we know he's that player. We saw the last game where he gave everything to try to win, and like this is his game. This is the game where he needs to show up legit and show that he's not a fraud because he's
Indubitably.
arguably one of the best players in the world right now.
Yeah.
And he just needs that Champions League title. That's what he needs.
Yeah, he does.
And then he'll probably win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I think if he does win it, he definitely has the potential to win the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, quite crazy. I do think PSG are going to win, but I want Dortmund to win. I think they can win. It just depends on what the refs are selling.
Let's hope it's not a ref show. Let's hope.
Yeah,
We saw it already once
yeah,
or twice,
yeah.
but we just want a clean Mbappe win.
Moving into the Wednesday game, we have Real Madrid at Bayern. I'm sorry, versus Bayern at the Bernabeu. Bayern will be up against the refs, the money, the VAR, freaking the world. Bayern's up against the world here. Madrid at home to go to the Champions League finals. Written in the script already. PSG versus Madrid. Harry Kane, legacy game,
Legacy.
100%. Dude has a chance to right all the wrongs. He has a chance to, ironically enough, fly all the way to Germany for a full season just to win it all back at home in England. Would be another script of its own. It's just truly a really big game. Second leg, 2-2 on aggregate at the Bernabeu. Have to absolutely bring your A game. Biggest game of the season for both clubs so far. Biggest game of the season for PSG and Dortmund. Champions League football. You got one game in a draw, 2-2. One game this is like a Champions League final for them.
Yeah,
For
it's a
both.
final in itself.
Anything could happen one game. Bayern doesn't have to be better. We already know the best teams don't always win it. But all you have to do is be better than them for 3 moments, 2 moments, 1 moment in a draw 0-0 game to make it to the Champions League final. It doesn't even have to be a full 90 minutes. All you got to do is take your chance when it comes, and that could be the game. Same with PSG Dortmund. PSG do have a little bit of work, though, with that one goal down. But Dortmund's defense was absolutely stellar. I do expect Dortmund to go on a run here, though, and try to attack, because that's where they play best. All set up for the final on June 1st. Champions League final at Wembley Stadium. Very, very dependent on, obviously on who goes through. But, my prediction on the final was probably going to be PSG Madrid. I am definitely hoping for Dortmund Bayern, though. But I do definitely just think that realistically PSG and Madrid will go through from here. But Dortmund, I think one of us may have called Dortmund as our dark horse. I think you really liked Bayern at the beginning of the campaign as well.
Definitely. And then I know the question is about who's available. De Ligt was out last game. Kim and Jay stepped up. It was gave away a pen. De Ligt should be back. There's also Courtois. Courtois played the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He's fit. Does Ancelotti just drop Lunin, who's been playing insane, and throw in Courtois? There's this cannot have happened at like the worst time.
Yeah.
The second leg of the Champions League final, you get the guy who arguably won it for you against Liverpool after making save after save after save, and now he's back from an ACL injury. I don't know, Gab. What do you do in that situation? Do you throw in Courtois or do you stick with Lunin?
I think I'd throw in Courtois just because of the experience. I mean, he's been there, he's done that. I don't think there's any question about it in my mind. But we'll see. I still think I'd throw in Courtois. Let's see here. There's still no news on Daniel Malin's injury status. Looks like he may miss once again. We'll see. Either way, Adeyemi's been playing unreal. Sancho's been playing unreal. Sancho's, possibly potentially been the player of this stage so far. But we'll see. Like I said, I think that Dortmund have enough. I just don't think that the script will allow them to proceed through. We'll see. I'm gonna go. I'm hoping for a Harry Kane win though. That's who I'm rooting for. Bayern Harry Kane win at home. Lifts the trophy in front of probably his whole family would be there. It just truly would be a fantastic ending. Shoot, after that, in my personal opinion, you call it. If you've been chasing one trophy for your entire career, not any trophy, your team that's won 11 consecutive years in a row, you go to them, they lose, but you get it to the Champions League final and you win it. I mean, he's older. He's not. He could still be he's still one of the best, strikers in the world. But man, I think you might have to call it if you win the Champions League. Yeah, I think I'd have to. Me personally, I think I'd call it after that. Just in pure brilliance.
Let's hope. It would be storybook talent for him to win it.
Yeah, that would solidify his career, in my opinion, for sure.
Arguably as one of England's best strikers to ever play.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we got. That's all we got basically for this week. We will be back in the next episode with the Champions League final preview. We'll have the winners. We'll have the preview for the next week of the Premier League, which is right around the corner. Games Tuesday, Wednesday for Champions League. Premier League right back at it on Saturday. So we will be there. Final weeks of the season coming down to it. Exciting time. We'll have big news coming. Just got to get there. A couple more weeks. Let's see. This has been our 57th episode. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Man, 57 episodes. That's been quite an amount for sure. But just about 2 a week. Really good. That's almost a year in total of episodes. But probably about half that, 6 months. I'd say we've at least been doing this for. Let's go back to our first video. Let's see. Just pull it up real quick. So we started on our first episode was about 6 months ago. Yeah, 6 months ago. Pretty sweet. We're 6 months in. We will be here to the end of the season, and we will see what goes on from there. But absolutely fantastic time. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And you are kicking it with Gab.
And Chooch.
Let's go.